Hey everybody, what's going on today? I'm going to be doing a new video today on wiring the Gen 2, kind of get some questions out of the way. I know a lot of people have had some issues, problems, because my last video was of the pre-production one, and so it wasn't the exact same thing that you are doing, that you have. So I am going to kind of clarify some of that, and hopefully this will alleviate some questions and some confusions. Let's get started. All right, so when you get your Gen 2, this is what you're going to get. This is all the wiring you're going to get. You're going to get two USB cables, a GPS antenna, and basically three wire harnesses here, and also your radio antenna. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you how to plug everything in. Like I say, it's all pretty much plug and play. So the first thing you're going to do is this is your main wire harness. So you'll see that there's some pretty large pins, and then there's three little tiny pins up top there. So I don't know if you can see those. You want to make sure those are all nice and straight. When you do put this in, you need to go nice and slow. Make sure it's all lined up, and make sure all the little pins in here are straight. Now, once you get it on, give it a good squeeze, and then before you put the latch on to secure it. So that's kind of step one, is putting it to your main wiring harness. Now, the next thing you need to do is connect this the large main plug. There is a 15 amp fuse there, so if anything does blow, that there it is fused. So basically, I'm not gonna push these in and latch them, because I need to take these right back out anyhow. So, but put it in, and it's going to take a little bit of force to put it in and make sure and latch it in there. Okay, that's step one. Now the next thing you want to do is let's go with the reverse wiring. Okay, this little pigtail right here, I guess I need to zoom out a little bit. This little one right here is the reverse cam plug-in, the trigger wire, and then you have your Bluetooth antennas right there. So that is going to go into the lower right, but the clips will be aiming up. So I'm not gonna secure these in. I'm just gonna push them in like that. But you need to make sure and push them in and snap them. The next thing you need to do, you're gonna have two USB cables, and these USB cables do have different size plugs, so they only go to one place. So the larger one goes right here. Okay, like I say, I'm not snapping these in all the way. And the smaller one goes right there. Okay, so you got those. The next thing we need to do is you're going to have coming off the CAN bus, you're going to have a pink and white wire with a white connector here. So that's going to go in the lower left part right here. Okay, and the next, you have the larger one. Now this is, you won't use any of these unless you're hooking up an amp, or you'll use the CVBS N1 for the front cam. So, and then I'll get to this wire in a second. So this one here is going to go right up top there. Like I say, I'm not clicking those in. Now, one thing I recommend, you see all these RCAs. One thing I do recommend is the ones you're not using is tape them up, and also when you do connect them, put some electrical tape around them. That way, if you had an old amp and you ever cross these, the sound it would make. So it does create some interference. So make sure and tape all these RCA wires all up, so you don't have to worry about any interference or anything like that. So, okay, so we got that connected. Now, you'll see this one right here, that one right there, is going to be left open. So you're not gonna be using that one. And then you have your GPS. So I'm not going to plug it, screw it in. Everybody knows how to do that. So you screw that in, and I run this first. Now you can put this GPS antenna inside the dash. The factory one's sitting on top of the dash. So and I'll get to that in a minute too. So the last thing you need to connect is going to be your radio antenna. Just goes in here. Just press it firmly in. Now, when you take your OEM radio out, you're going to find 4 round wires that look like this that you unplugged. There's a blue, white, gray, and I can't remember the 4th one right off my head. Okay, you want to find the white one. The white one is the antenna for the radio. So that's the one you're going to want to find. Okay. Now next, you're going to see you have some single wires here, and there's going to be 4 single wires with little black connectors. So what you want to do is there's going to be an orange with a pink stripe, okay? You're going to take the orange with the pink stripe and plug these in together. Now this is the reverse cam trigger. So that's and the connections are different. This one's smaller than what this one is, so you can't plug it into the wrong place. Then you're going to find the orange and the black and orange, and you're going to plug those in. Easier said than done. There we go. You're going to plug those in. So now you have everything plugged in. So the next thing you're going to do is obviously everybody is getting a reverse cam. So on the reverse cam, what you need to find, let me go out a little bit here. You need to find the blue ANT wire. So this wire right here is an accessory wire, and so it only is on when the head unit's on. This is where you're going to power your rear cam, and also, if you choose, your front cam. So it's very simple. I'm going to explain what to do on the reverse cam and how to hook it up. There's been a lot of confusion about that. It's actually very simple. So when you get your, and I apologize, I don't have a reverse cam. So when you get a reverse cam, it's going to have a yellow RCA on one end, and then it's going to have a red power wire on the other end. So the red power wire, this is the only connection you need to make, is going to go here. So you're going to connect the red power wire here and the yellow RCA there. Now on the camera end, I'm going to show you a picture here. And this is not the cam you get. This is just for example, just so I can show you the plug-in. Now on the camera end of the wiring, what you're going to have is the camera is going to have a black and a red, and then this will either be black or red, a single wire coming in. So what you need to do is just plug in the yellow RCA, because you already have power going to the cam. So what this is right here is if you want to connect power using the reverse light. But this camera only requires power on one end, so you do not need to use that. Now I'm not sure on the MC models you may have to connect power on both ends, but I don't have an MC model and I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think you may have to do that. So once again, on the camera end, you just plug in your your yellow RCA cable, and that's it. You don't need to find power for this pigtail here. You don't need to do that. So, and make sure and test before you button everything up. So what you're going to do is this head unit is set by default to auto detect the reverse cam. So you need to go into car settings, reverse settings, and then find reverse camera. Once you get in there, it's going to give you a whole list of cameras. It's going to be set to auto. You're going to need to scroll down and find AHD 720 25 frames per second. That's what you're going to need to do. Otherwise, it's going to say no signal and your video is going to be garbled. So that's how you do that. Now, the guys that are going to be doing the front cam, I have an illustration for that. This is going to be the wiring you get for your front cam. So this is a big long 20-foot wire, and it's the same on both ends. So you're going to have two RCAs and a red wire, and they're going to be the same. So there's no front or back on these. So on the behind the head unit, on the head unit end, you simply plug that yellow RCA into your CVBS-N1. You plug that in, okay? And then you take your red power wire and you solder it to the blue ANT. So that's done, okay? Now, what's different on this side of the cam, you're going to have this plug in. So this is going to plug into the camera, okay? So that your camera is going to have a little pigtail that's going to have that a plug in like that, and it's going to have a yellow RCA. So you're going to plug in both of those to the cam, okay? And then you're going to have this pigtail. So what you need to get the power to the cam, you need to kind of split these apart, and you need to connect that red wire right there to that red wire on the camera end. So you need to connect power on both ends. So that red wire will connect with that red wire. Now you can ground it. There's a ground, you can ground it. I didn't ground mine, but you can, if there's a ground somewhere close by the front cam, you could certainly ground it. It won't hurt anything. So I hope that kind of alleviates that. It's very simple. It's not that difficult. If anybody has any questions, just get a hold of me. Now I'm going to show you a couple other things here. There also is an option to purchase a USB dash cam, and I actually absolutely love my dash cam. So you do need to buy a micro SD card and put it in there before you activate it. So all this is it just plugs into one of your USBs right here. So you just plug that in and then run it along the windshield and tuck it in, and then just plug that in. Now there is a separate app for this, and when you hook this up, you go to File Manager, and then you find, I believe it's SD card or USB. Maybe it's an SD card, and you'll see that there's an APK, and so you want to hit that APK and download the APK. And I will do a video on how to do that too. I kind of touched on it on another video, but I'll kind of show how to do it. But you do need to have your micro SD card in prior to installing, plugging it all in and getting it all up and running. So that's pretty easy, but that's pretty cool deal. I love mine. It loops in 3-minute loops. It records audio, video speed, and all that good stuff. So, okay, here's another option that we're going to talk about, and this is some other guys that have installed them told me about this. Instead of using the instead of using the provided GPS antenna, you can use the one that's installed in the car already, the OEM one. So what you do, I'll provide a link on to where to buy this connector, but it's just simply a connector that you could plug in using your stock one. So it's gonna plug in, obviously screw in right here. I won't screw it in all the way, but it's gonna screw in there, and then you find the the blue round one, OEM one that looks like this, that's in your car, and you plug it in and make sure and test it. And I'm going to test it, make sure it works 100%, and we'll see how good I assume the OEM GPS signal is fine. I guess the GPS antenna is a GPS antenna. I don't know if there's much difference. So, but I'll test it. I'll make sure this works, and the using the factory one, so you don't have to mount this somewhere. I know some people mount them on the dash. I mounted mine on the windshield. Some have mounted this in the dash, also next to the factory one. So there's several options you can go with, but it's up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and do this just to clean it up, get rid of some more wiring that I don't need. So that is all that I have for today. I will say that I am going to be doing a new video. I do want to say that there is a updated head unit. It just came out, so I will be introducing it. It's not a Gen 3 or anything. It's just they made some updates to the Gen 2, so I'll probably call it like a Gen 2.1. Just kind of some exciting new updates. No big game changers. So you guys that bought the Gen 2 here recently, you're not going to go, oh shoot, I wish I would have waited and bought this one. Well, this one just came out. I found out about it 2 weeks ago. They sent me one to install and to fully test it. There's really nothing to test. It just has some upgraded specs on it. So I will be getting this installed. I will be painting my button area here as I do on all mine. So I'll paint it. I'm going to paint this one this time a black chrome. I guess that's about all I have. I also am going to kind of be switching some gears here and doing some different videos. I'm going to be building, I just bought a new house with a 4-car garage, so I'm going to be building my dream garage, and I'm going to be documenting the whole thing. So hopefully everybody kind of looks out for that. It's going to be kind of a long process, but I'll do part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. Kind of go over all the steps. I got a lot of the design done and what I want to do to it. So, well, if anybody has any questions, I do have a new website up. That link is going to be in the comments. You comment on this video, like, subscribe. My email is going to be on there, so if you need to get a hold of me, you sure can. So, all right, everybody have a good weekend. Bye.